Week 7 of the 2022-23 NBA season is over, which means it's time to run it back. This is Run It Back, NBA Week in Review, Los Angeles Clippers edition.
Beach basket. Beach basket. Bringing you the truth. Beach basket. Beach basket.
Hey everyone, I'm Jose Salviati, formerly Clippers featured columnist at Bleacher Report and currently editor and contributor at thepeachbasket.net. Let's talk Clippers basketball. Week 7 for the Clippers was more of the same. They're good and then they aren't. And through it all, certain players don't play. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. The Clippers started week 7 with a win against the Pacers, 114-100. In that game, Ivica Zubac channeled Wilt Chamberlain to score 31 points and pull down 21 rebounds. That actually made, let's put it this way, because of that game, in large part because of that game, Zubac was the top performer in average, most rebounds in week 7. So congratulations to him. After that game, they beat the Blazers on the road, 118-112, and things were looking pretty good. But this is the way things go for the Clippers. After that, they lost to the Jazz in Utah. Jazz are a good a good team. No shame in losing to them, certainly not in Utah. And then they lost to the Sacramento Kings at home, 96-123. Now, the Kings are a good team too, but that game was rough because the Clippers were never in it. If Clipper fans worldwide could boo, they would have after that Kings game in which their team, again, just never competed. They were never in it. And that's what Twitter's for, right? Clipper Nation in Twitter booed very loudly. You know who else wasn't in that game? Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. And it's tough, but we got to talk about this. Injuries are part of the game, and that's understandable. Every fan of the game gets that. But silence about those injuries doesn't have to be. That's where there's a bit of a problem, and you're starting to see real kind of two groups of people in Clipper Nation that are, some that are frustrated by it and others that are just trying to kind of keep it quiet and keep the status quo. I'll let you know where I stand in a bit. The Clippers don't necessarily owe fans updates. We get that. It's understandable, but at least a general time frame or something would be nice. Instead, all we hear from the Clippers regarding Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and anybody else who's injured is, Clippers stock went up this week, likely due to the start of the week, more so than the end of it. Symbol is the only stock market for team sports. You can find them at symbol.com. Absolutely fun site to check out. Looks like the investors are bullish on the Clippers. I can understand the excitement in that the Clippers are pretty good compared to, or when you consider who isn't playing for them. And if they can keep their heads above water, doing what they're doing without those guys, what's it going to be? What's this team going to be like when they're whole? And it seems to me that that's what has got investors in the Clippers excited. The question Clipper fans are asking, though, is when will the Clippers be whole? Not for a game or two, but for the balance of the season. While they wait for that answer, Clippers stock jumped up to $38.21. So, is it time to panic yet? The NBA season is a quarter of the way over, and the Clippers have seen Kawhi Leonard on the court for exactly 5 games. He's averaged in those 5 games 22 minutes, 22.21 to be exact, 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Now, what's interesting about that, those numbers aren't great, certainly not for a player of Kawhi's caliber, but understandable coming off an injury. But the Clippers are 4-1 in those games. Kawhi Leonard's a difference maker, and the Clippers need him on the court if they hope to be the contenders everyone expected them to be. And maybe that's the issue here. The Clippers brass is more concerned with the team being whole as they get closer to the playoffs. After all, being the team to win the last game of the season is the reason these games are played and the only thing people will remember. I get that. but the lack of information, any information, is frustrating, even for the most faithful at Clipper Nation. Now, nothing fixes frustration like a 10-game winning streak. If the Clippers were to be able to do that, nobody would be talking about this anymore. Even an 8-game winning streak would be nice. But the Clippers is currently constructed, is currently being put out on the court, and just seem to be capable of being, an just above average 500 team at best. They need their stars back, and Clipper Nation would appreciate any information on when they can expect to see that. Now let's turn to a segment we call Full Court Press. This is where we type LA Clippers into a search engine and see what others are saying about them. As expected, the big news is about Kawhi Leonard, about Paul George. And I think we beat that horse dead. No need to go into this any deeper. So instead, I'm going to turn to Twitter. Twitter is a bit of a blessing and a curse. I'll let you decide what the curse is, but there's certainly a lot of good information on there if you know where to look. And I think Jacob the Clipper got a good conversation going. I mentioned earlier there are kind of two groups of Clipper fans right now. Those that are kind of getting frustrated with the crickets, and those that are just kind of willing to wait more, longer. I think Jacob falls into the give me some information bucket. He tweeted, Baron Davis has played more games for the Clippers in 2.5 seasons than Kawhi has played in 4 seasons. He lists the number. And then he commented, this is depressing. I get that. And I think a lot of fans of the Clippers get that as well. That tweet was responded to by credentialed LA Clipper writer for Sports Illustrated, Farbad Esnashari. And Farbad felt compelled to stick up for the Clippers, stick up for Kawhi, and I understand that perspective as well. He mentioned that Baron Davis didn't tear his ACL, didn't carry the Clippers to beating the Mavericks in the playoffs twice. Kawhi did. But I really like Jacob's reply. And this is where I stand on it, quite honestly. He said, look, it's okay to be disappointed. Pretending like everything is fine all the time isn't real. Be real. Fans will appreciate it more. And the only thing I'll say to Farbad, and I don't know him, but the only thing I'll say in his defense is I don't think he knows. I don't think he's not being real. I think he's just going off of what he feels, just like Jacob, you're going off what you feel. I'm going off of what I feel. That's the thing that's so incredibly frustrating to Clipper fans everywhere. Nobody knows. And the people that do know aren't talking. And I don't think that's going to change. Farbad is being as real as he can be with the information he has, I think. And he feels obligated to stick up for the team and to stick up for the player. But Clippers fans, represented by Jacob here, are starting to get frustrated. And I can understand that frustration. Absolutely. And you know what? I share it. I want to see Kawhi on court playing, passing the ball to PG, kicking it over to Luke Kennard for a 3. I want to see the Clippers whole. And I think everybody who's a fan of Clipper Nation, regardless of what side of this argument you land on, want to see that as well. Will we see that in week 8? Maybe. Don't hold your breath. What do the Clippers have coming up in week 8? Tough road game. They go east to match up against the Charlotte Hornets, the Orlando Magic, the Miami Heat, and the Washington Wizards. Now, the Hornets and the Magic are record-wise not particularly good. They're actually the bottom of the barrel in the East. The Heat are underperforming, but they're still the Heat, and the Wizards have been pretty good. This is not going to be an easy road trip. I have them going 3-1 in week 8. Join me next week to see if I was right. When we once again run it back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll talk then.
Beach basket. Beach basket. Bringing you the truth. Real sports news. Pick and roll, post up, crossover, step through, step back, corner 3, dribble, drive to the hoop. We provide hoop news. Hoop court truths, voice of the fan, win or lose. In-depth reports, locker room to the court. Peach basket can grasp all facets of the sport. So look here, lend the ear in the air is the sound of hoop fanatics in the atmosphere. Your expectations, we will surpass it. Attractive like a magnet, tuned in the Peach Basket. Live broadcasting, even podcasted. Got a question, don't hesitate to ask it. Intelligent news with no static. Turn on your tablet when you gotta have it. Drop updates quick like a rabbit. We got the answers, check out Peach Basket. Peach Basket, Peach Basket. Peach Basket, Peach Basket. Peach Basket, Peach Basket. The voice of the fan, the voice of